What's up? And welcome back to Opposites Attract podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to my sick man,
Miguel Ramirez. What's up, babe?
What's up? So, our entire household is sick, and
this is the Coronacast.
Don't say that. So I was out Friday, and I was feeling good. Like everyone was sick, and I was out working, and my friend and I call my friend Teresa Trujillo, and she brings up, the coronavirus, and I'm like, what? Because I haven't really been following it, so. She freaks me out, but I really thought that I was going to get by. I really thought that I was not going to get sick. I'm like not kissing them, staying away from them, making sure my hands are washed and, got them. I made them some chicken soup, homemade chicken soup. And I thought I was going to power through this. And then I get home Friday night and all of a sudden it hits me. And there I am on the sofa with my family with with tissue all over. Our house is an absolutely mess right now. And you know what sucks? Is that I'm sick. And I have to take care of all of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to take care of all of you. I think we're taking care of each other, though. Like, you've been cool. But I want to be sick.
I've been
and
cool.
I want you.
I've been cool.
Like you've been like, hey, babe, what can I do to help? Like when I'm washing dishes or.
I've been making the rice for the chicken soup.
But I want to be the only one sick,
Dude,
I want you to make me homemade orange juice and chicken soup and bring it to me.
Do you know what the symptoms of the coronavirus are?
What you said earlier sounds just like a bad cold. It's flu, whatever.
Pretty much. Fever, which we've had. Well, I've had, Audrey's had, Joey's had too.
Yes.
I don't know if you've had it, but you haven't really, it hasn't been hot. You're hot all the time.
Thanks, babe. I'm putting my makeup on and you go and
feel up on your sick butt. After this podcast, we're going to touch our sick parts together.
You're stupid. Shut up.
I told you that earlier or yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't we go touch our sick parts together?
I'm like, okay.
Sorry, Mom. Fever, cough, shortness of breath. It's like having a cold.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, who knows? Like we could have the coronavirus. From what I've heard, it's really no. The thing is that I've heard that it's not actually as bad as they say it is. Like more people are dying from the flu than from the coronavirus, but it's fake news. It's all fake news.
Oh God, here we go. You know what's so gross?
What's that?
So my last signing, because I'm having to bend over, and sign the document. So I'm like this, and I feel my nose.
Your nose is dripping on the paper.
Oh shit, it's coming, and I have no tissue, no nothing. So I have to play it slick, and I'm just like, it's just embarrassing. Like, what do you do at that point?
You got like a black shirt on with a white stripe on it where you've been wiping your nose. It's all crusty and hard.
At that point, I knew you got me. And you threw it out in the universe, though. You put a dang post up.
Which one?
With you and the kids.
On the couch?
Yeah. I was out working and they were here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I end up, sick. Anyways.
I usually, I was telling you earlier today, like, I don't remember. Well, I do remember. I've been sick in the last 10 years or as long as we've been together. There's been one day where I was sick and I got knocked out. But I think it was like I had a fever. I had a cold. I was working overtime. I was working like crazy.
Yeah.
And I think I just exhausted myself and I was sick. So when I got home after work, I don't know if I worked a full shift. I may have. But when I got home, I got knocked out and I didn't wake up till the next day. And then I felt 1,000 times better.
I don't know how he does it. So yesterday I was feeling like crap. I got up. I did some work that I had to do. And then after that, like I'm sitting at the computer trying to do more and I'm like, okay, I can't do any. I'm done. Like I'm just done. So I go upstairs and spend some time with my sick children. And you're still at it. Like you're still work. Like you power through it. Like you just power through it. And I'm like, dude, I I don't know. Like I just don't have it. I'm a wimp. I've always been spoiled. Like I've always been spoiled that way. You know, like every job that I've had, you know, I never had to go in sick. Like, you know, my bosses, usually they were small law firms, and, you know, it's like, I'm sick, I'm not going in, and they were cool with it.
Yeah.
Like having that self-discipline, they were just very lenient with me. And it's always been that way.
Yeah.
You know? Or being on time, I didn't have to be on time because they were okay if I was, you know, half an hour late.
That may not be such a good thing.
It wasn't a good thing.
It's not good to set you up for the future. Like, yeah, just show up whenever you want.
That's how it was. So then when I started my own business with Legal Shield, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's when it's tough. But you know what made it so easy? That Legal Shield was very fun. It was fun. So I wanted to go to the events. I wanted to go meet with people because I love people. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. Maybe that's just my journey, you know?
Maybe.
But it has made it difficult, especially when it comes to other things, having that self-discipline to
when you
push
have to power
through
through
it.
Yep.
But I've never had to because I have you now.
So you just let me power through it?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know?
No, the last, was it Thursday and Friday, I didn't go into work. Well, I worked from home.
Yeah.
And Thursday, more than anything, it was because our daughter was sick.
Yeah.
Audrey was sick, and she couldn't go to school. You had some things that you weren't sick on Thursday.
No, I was not.
You had to take care of some stuff.
Then I got called in by her school, though.
And yeah.
And
no, that was on Wednesday. You got called by the school, and you had to pick her up.
Yeah.
So then Thursday, she missed school completely.
Yeah, and Friday. Yeah.
And Friday. And so I was able to work from home on Thursday, but Friday, I actually was, like yesterday, I was actually sick.
Yeah.
So I couldn't go to work. So I worked from home, but it's just compounding.
Yeah.
Little by,
but
I don't know.
It feels really good to
be sick.
No, stupid. The kids are going to be like, you just said a bad word.
Oh man, they were fighting yesterday.
Hey, wait, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So, it feels really good. Like the school was like, man, that was quick. Because as soon as they called me, they're like, hey, she's running a fever. You know, we need you to come pick her up. I was there like in 5 minutes. And they're like, holy cow, that was really quick. And that's what I'm saying. It feels good to have the freedom to be able to do that. And then you being able to work from home now, you know, and it's really cool. You know, like I'm so grateful
from time to time
that we're in this position to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You know, because think about it. Other individuals that have full-time jobs, you know, they get called in, their child's sick, you know, and they may not have that freedom to be able just to leave where they're at and take care of their...
Well, I mean, you got sick time and you can take it if you need it, but...
Yeah. So I'm just grateful that, you know, where we're at.
I can't wait for this to be over.
Oh, I know.
I'm just like, it sucks.
So my mother-in-law, didn't mom buy us the coffee pods? Those black ones? Okay.
Yeah.
So yesterday, you know.
I think that was a joke.
It
was. I think it was a prank that she's playing on us.
I don't know, but.
Holy.
Miguel wanted some coffee yesterday, so I, instead of, you know, making it in the coffee pot.
This is going to get gross,
we have these little coffee pods. We have that, what is it called, that machine? It's super cool.
It's an espresso. It's an espresso machine. Yeah.
So, you know, I get these pods and make them some coffee, and I taste it. I'm like, wow, this stuff is pretty good. Like, it has a kick. Next thing you know it, Miguel's like, my stomach
Next thing you know it, I'm
jacked
dirtying
up.
the underside of the toilet seat.
So gross. So anyways, the reason why we seem like we have so much energy right now is because... How many did you
put in there?
I put 2.
Oh, shit.
It's like 2 shots.
Yeah.
But my palm started to sweat, and I felt the energy come in. I'm like, come on, let's do this podcast. I'm ready.
You get that.
I'm ready.
I don't.
Oh, I do. I'm just like, let's do this. Yeah. You know, so you're probably like, you don't seem like you're very sick. Oh, this caffeine's kicked in. It's absolutely amazing.
So we're sick, but at the same time, like, what are you going to do? I mean, I was telling you earlier when we're just kind of sitting down here hanging out, like, the show doesn't stop for anybody. Whether it's this show, the podcast, whether it's life,
Yeah.
it doesn't. I mean, yes, if there's certain things you gotta stop, and you gotta take care of yourself.
Yes.
But man,
yes. Well, I can tell you this. Okay. If it was just me doing this podcast,
there wouldn't be a podcast this week. Yeah.
You know, like I'm just saying, like God knew what he was doing when he put us together. You know, like I'm the salesperson. I'm the one who brings the people together. I love the marketing, building the friendships and all of that fun stuff. And Miguel is, you know, the man behind, connecting all the dots and doing all the yucky stuff that I'm just not good at. I'm just not good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like this whole networking event that we're putting together.
Yeah.
You know,
we got an event that we're going to put together. We'll tell you guys more about that later.
You know, me bringing the people, getting everybody together. That's what I'm good at.
Yeah.
But you're good at organizing everything. And that's why a long time ago, I knew that there was going to be a business that you and I were going to do together. Like we started doing Legal Shield together, but that your passion for Legal Shield started to dissipate. And, you know, and so I ended up taking over the business. But I knew that one day that there was going to be something that we would build together.
Yeah.
And I knew exactly what my role was going to be and what your role was going to be.
Yeah. Know your role and shut your mouth.
Huh? Are you talking?
Nothing. That's from no. No. That anybody that used to watch wrestling back in the 90s. That's from a wrestler from the WWE, WWF. I can't remember who it was. If my friend Juan Carlos is listening, man, when we were kids, he was the one I talked about him on the last podcast. In my grandmother's building, he was a couple doors down, and we would go to his house, and he always watched wrestling. We used to beat the shit out of each other in his house. But that was, I don't know, that was a saying that a wrestler used to say: "Know your role and shut your mouth." I think it was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Anyway,
oh no, but yesterday, so Miguel and I are pushing through. Miguel. I was working in the office. You were working over there doing what you have to do for work. Yeah. And all of a sudden we heard the kids like scrapping.
Yeah, that was funny.
It was so funny.
And the thing is that they're so innocent and they're so cute that for them, so it started with Audrey telling Joey to shut up.
No, they were fighting over the TV.
Yeah, they were fighting over the TV, over the remote. But when it started escalating was when Audrey was telling Joey to shut up. Like she was going to come tell us something.
Yes.
And Joey didn't want her to.
I'm going to go tell Mom. You're going to get in big trouble.
And Joey's like, yeah, well. And she's like, shut up. And for her to tell him to shut up.
Yeah, that's like telling somebody.
Yeah, like fuck off. Yeah, pretty much for adults.
Yeah.
And for her, she's like, shut up. And then Joey's like, take your stupid remote. You know, that's their.
I'm like, he better have not thrown that remote.
That's their version.
I could totally see him throwing the remote. And
that's
saying,
their version of cursing. It's so funny.
And we're downstairs and you call me over and you're like, do you hear this? Do you hear this? I'm like, man, they need to learn how to work things out. Like, that's the thing. Like, because in life, they're going to have disagreements. They're going to have disputes and it all starts in the home.
I was wondering if you were going to do something or if you were going to say something.
I was going to.
Because that's what I was thinking. When I heard them scrapping, I was like, let them sort it out. If they fucking scrap, they scrap.
But isn't that funny? Like we were thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Because when she called me, I was sitting on the, over here and I got up and then I sat back down and I'm like, no, I want to hear how they work this out.
Yeah.
And then that's when you called me and you're like, do you hear this? I'm like, yeah.
Crazy.
And we're just like cracking up. But after a while, I don't know how it got fixed, but I went up and they were both like good.
I think Joey gave in. With an attitude.
But we should have went up there because that was a time for us to coach and we didn't. Seriously.
Okay.
We could have went up there after everything settled and it could have been a good coaching time for us to coach them.
Maybe. We missed an opportunity.
Yes, we did. We missed an opportunity. But trust me, there's going to be
there'll be plenty more.
Many more. So anyways.
So hey,
that's our journey.
If any of you guys want to send us a voicemail, if you guys want to give us a call, let us know what you think of the podcast. If you guys have any questions for us, we have a phone number you guys can call. I have the phone number up here.
Oh, do you? Oh.
Yeah, you can call 480-912-5128. You can call us, leave us a voicemail, let us know what you think about the podcast. If you have any questions for us, you guys just hit us up. It's 480-912-5128. You can also go to our website, oppositesattractpod.com, and you can subscribe to the show. You can see our YouTube videos. You can also click on the support the show tab at the top, and that'll take you to our Amazon link. Anything that you purchase through that link on Amazon, it doesn't cost you anything more, but it also helps out the show. And you also see a tab to Trust Inc.
Yes. And Trust Inc., we are a nationwide mobile notary agency. We do a lot of work with title companies, law firms, and individuals as well. So if you need one of your documents notarized, hit us up. We are also independent associates with Legal Shield. And with Legal Shield, what we do is we give you access to attorneys in the palm of your hand for a small monthly subscription.
Nice. So earlier this week, we were talking about The Secret. It's been coming up lately. If you guys don't know, it's kind of like a movie documentary called The Secret, and it's all pretty much the power of positive thinking.
Yes.
And
it was a big thing.
It was a big thing when it came out. It was huge.
Yes.
When it came out years ago, when we were actively doing Legal Shield, and everybody was talking about it. But over the years, there's been I don't know if you call it controversy or like just people that disagree with some of it. And there is some truth to it. So pretty much the thought behind The Secret is that your thoughts are powerful. And if you focus all of your attention, all of your thoughts on something, then the universe, whatever that may be, you will attract it. Right? The law of attraction.
Yes.
So if you see yourself as a multi-millionaire, whatever, like if you, like, let's say,
if you think it
becomes real,
right?
Pretty much.
And that's when people really started doing vision boards and all this other stuff.
But the thing is that, like, let's say you have these thoughts and these visions of yourself being super successful, but then you have thoughts of it's not going to happen. You're not going to make it. Then when you get to the point where you don't have those thoughts and the only thoughts you have are positive, then that's when it happens. But the big problem with that whole thing,
there was a missing link.
There is probably the biggest missing link.
Yes.
Where you can't just think about
you can't just wish, pray, and hope.
Yeah. You got to get to work.
Yes.
You got to get to work. The work. The thing is that, like, we were talking about it, and The Secret, I think for the majority of people, you have to have that. You have to have that mentality, that thought process to become successful. If you don't have it, it's almost guaranteed that it's not going to happen for you.
Right.
But you have to have that plus the work ethic. You got to put the work in.
Yes. Yeah.
But if you don't have that, if you can't see yourself doing that, then most likely it's not going to happen.
Right. So Lisa Nichols, she was one of the main individuals.
Yeah, you love
in The
Lisa
Secret.
Nichols.
Yeah. Multi-millionaire now, by the way. And you probably won't even recognize her from The Secret because she's gotten in shape.
Yeah.
Like, hardcore.
Can I have a tissue?
And you got a quarter?
I'm dripping over here. From my nose.
Are you talking dirty to
From
me?
my nose.
And they're remaking The Secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see that. But yeah, no, it takes a lot of hard work, dedication. And, that's why, like I am very spiritual. And it's so funny because my mom, I'll be talking to her and she's like, well, she's sick and tired of living in this small studio apartment. She's just so done with it. And she's like, man, if God willing, we will be, in, a bigger apartment, or she wants a house, God willing. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I love me, my God, but you got to put the work into it. You have to plan, you have to focus, you got to do something different because I don't care how much you pray and hope if you are not focusing on creating it, it's not going to happen.
What is that saying? I don't know if it's from the Bible or whatever, but if it's to be, it's up to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's not from the Bible, but I'm sure there is.
But I mean,
few verses.
That is the truth. Like if it's to be, it's up to me.
Yeah.
You got to go out there and make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, with everything that we've been able to do and create, it took work. This podcast took work. Trust Inc. took 13 years of work. And I say that because of all the networking that I've had to do, waking up early, the late nights. Like I put in the work in Legal Shield, building the relationships.
Yeah.
So that when Trust Inc. came to mind, all I did was I used the network that I had already.
Created.
Yes. And going back, if you're someone and you're thinking of opening up a business, and you've been giving back to the community.
You're reading off my notes?
No. Why?
Oh, because I was going to talk about this too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's in mine too.
Yeah. Go for it.
Working within your network. That's what mine's called. So, if you've been and you just caught me off, but if you're thinking of opening up a business, think of the people, and just write a list of individuals that you respect, and that may have, a bigger network. And I guess it's not just people you respect. I mean, you never know who your mom knows, your dad knows, your brother, sister knows, and start working within your network, to start building those connections. And that's what I did with Trust Inc. was I just went back to my network, the people that I know. And because I've been there to help others, people were willing to help me.
Yeah.
Like our loan officer who helped us with this loan or purchase this house. He opened the doors to Driggs Title, and I'm working on Great American Title. But he's been able to open those doors for me.
Nice.
You do business with people that do business with you. And trust me, not everyone's going to be open to that. But you got to try. You just got to try.
Yeah. And don't be fixated on the outcome if they don't.
Yeah.
Or not the outcome, but let's say you go up to somebody and they're like, yeah, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Don't take it personally.
Don't be emotionally connected.
Yes, exactly. That's what I meant to say. Yep. Yeah. Don't be emotionally connected to the result. Just if it happens, it happens. Great. If not, great. I mean, the thing is that if it doesn't happen, you're where you're at now anyway. So who cares? Just keep plugging along, keep working.
Right.
And I think consistency is
not you think,
Well, no, I know. Consistency is the number one reason that people have success.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when it comes to everything, when it comes to our podcast, when it comes to school, when it comes to health, when it comes to your finances,
relationship. Everything. I mean, just
because you think about it, like I've mentioned before, since we've started, there's other Opposites Attract podcasts,
right?
And they put out a podcast, and we've put out a podcast. Now the thing is that they miss a podcast. When you miss one podcast, it may not be a big deal if you continue to put out podcasts. Mm-hmm. But when you miss another podcast, you put out another one, miss another one. Little by little, the inconsistency is going to kill you.
Yep.
Where you may not notice the difference, just like eating a hamburger. One hamburger doesn't kill you.
Yeah.
But over time, you'll see the difference between the person that all they do is eat hamburgers and the person that maybe has one every once in a while. It's a treat, Right. Same thing with finances. I'm putting away $20.
Yeah.
If you miss it once, it's not a big deal. But when you consistently miss it, that also makes a big difference.
Compounding interest. No.
And then, a month from now, you can't tell the difference. 6 months from now, you might be able to see something a little bit different.
Yeah.
5 years from now, that you can't recognize the two.
Right.
It's just, it compounds, like you said.
Yep. So let's, we're what, in March?
Yeah.
So we're not even halfway through the year, but we had talked about some goals
at the beginning of the year.
At the beginning of the year. And I feel really good about where we're at when it comes to just breaking down our, finances. There's so many things still that we need to do. Like I was talking to you about updating our will and getting a trust in place, because we really need to do that. I was thinking this morning, I had Audrey, she came upstairs and she laid down and she fell asleep in my arms and she was holding my hand. And I started to think, because we're planning on going to Puerto Rico and Florida and on a cruise. And I'm thinking you and I are going to be on that cruise together alone without our kids. So I started to think, man, I need to get this will updated, the trust, like we need, because you just never know. And then I started thinking about death. And I told him, he's like, great. What do you mean you're thinking about death this morning?
So I'm
laying next to our daughter.
So you were in the bed sleeping still. And I came downstairs and I'm looking at the podcast stuff on the computer. And you come down and the first thing you're like, I was thinking about death this morning. I'm like, what the fuck?
But I was just thinking, like, if something were to happen to you and I, like, do we have everything set up? Do we have everything set up? And yes, we have a will, but that's not going to protect, the our houses that we have. And it's not going to, like, nobody knows our account numbers or anything else that we have.
No, you were talking about making a book and putting all our stuff, all the important information in there so that people can know, that we need to know.
Because
knows our information.
Because you never know.
That's a good idea.
But that's something that I still have to work on. I haven't, but I did with the houses we are working. I have made the steps, or took some steps to get all that put together. Why are you blinking your eye?
Well, what we're getting into is the goals for the year.
Yeah.
We all set goals at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And this is about the time when people fall, like, they've completely just fallen off. Whether it was, I'm going to start putting money away, or I'm going to get in shape, or I'm going to, whatever.
Yeah. So I started putting 20% of my income away.
Yeah. Me too.
We started focusing on paying off the other house.
Yeah.
And we set this house up for biweekly payments so that we pay it off sooner.
This is the thing, is that you have to stretch yourself. Like and it's not easy. And this isn't like, we're not saying this just to impress anybody or like, hey, look at us.
No.
Mm-mm. It's not easy. And we know that, like, because we go through periods where it's like, damn, we spent a shit ton of money and we don't have a lot of money left.
Right.
But a big part of that is because we did put $1,000 down on principal last month on the rental house.
Right.
We put an extra payment down on this house. Like, it sucks in your bank account.
Right.
But there is a satisfaction to it.
Right. Because years from now, and that's where I'm thinking of the future. I'm thinking for the future.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you're young, you're not really thinking about the future. You're thinking about the now.
It's crazy because you don't have anything to show for it, but there is a really big satisfaction that you get knowing that you did the right thing.
Well, it's like you were saying, if you eat a hamburger today, you may not gain the pound tomorrow. Yeah. But in time,
especially
you're going to be unhealthy.
Coffee.
You're going to be, you're just, it's going to show. And it's the same thing with what we're doing right now. We may not see it, reflecting in our bank account, but when we're 60, 65,
yes,
and, we're sitting good, that's when we can pat ourselves on the back and say, you know what? That sacrifice was worth it. Sacrifice was worth it, because we're going to spend the money. Trust me. And this is the thing, like, we set it up automatically. That's what I have it set up automatically. So it comes out of our account. We don't see it. So that means we need to live on less money. Yeah. We're not able to spend as much money as we were spending.
But we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, we're doing the right thing. And this is one thing. Sorry,
go ahead.
You have to set it up automatically. You really do, because if not, you're going to have that extra money sitting on the in the account. And you're going to be like, you know what? Let's go out to eat, because that's our thing. Like,
no, you did really good.
Very well.
Yeah, you did really
that's
good.
That's what you said.
Yeah,
you said.
Who did I tell that to? We got our financial advisor
we hired,
guy.
And that's another thing.
I was like, we hired, really good.
A financial advisor, and we have him working with us, and so we're
not playing.
Yeah.
Things are going to change.
We're going to be eating rice and beans and top ramen.
Hey, one of the guys at work, he's like, dude, you guys are gonna be millionaires in 2 years, and you're gonna have a private jet and a drug habit and all this. I'm like,
a drug habit.
Like, he just threw that in at the end, like you guys are gonna have drug habits and all this other shit. But no, and you know what? And that leads me into my next point. There was something that I wanted to mention that once when things happen, like when we get to that point where everything is great,
right?
There's people that are gonna look at anybody that's successful. They look at them and they're like, damn, man, that person's lucky. Like, wow. Like, I just as an example, I mean, personally, I've heard somebody say, how the hell did he get here? Because maybe I didn't have the experience, the best experience. Like, there was other people that were applying for a position that I applied for that maybe had more experience than me. And, yeah. And
you're young and you're younger than.
But the thing is that they have no idea what I did to get to the position that I was in.
Right.
When I first got into being an inspector on the helicopters, I remember somebody's like, how, like, he doesn't have the mechanical experience to be out here doing this. How the hell? The thing is that they didn't see, or when I moved on to another position, they didn't see that I was going to school at night when they were home.
Right. Yeah.
I signed up for one class and I signed up for another class.
Yeah.
I'm still going to class, or not class, but I'm still going to school finishing projects today. I was doing tours of the facility for guests and all kinds. Like, that was just extra shit that other people weren't doing.
Right.
I signed up for a mentoring program as a mentor and as a mentee.
Right.
That's stuff that nobody saw.
Right.
But when I ended up getting a new position, they're like, how the fuck did he, this is what they say. Who did he blow? Who did he blow to get here? Thing is that you have no clue.
Right. Yeah.
So when this podcast, when it takes off, when you're successful, when things take off for you, there's going to be people that are like, how the hell, they don't see. There's a song by Drake that I can't remember. I don't know what song it is, but there's a song where he says, you weren't with me shooting in the gym, when he's talking about basketball. You weren't with me shooting in the gym. All you see is me playing in the NBA now. But you weren't with me when I was in the gym by myself, shooting hundreds of free throws by myself.
Yeah.
And people just see the finished product, but they don't see all the work that got put into making that finished product.
Right.
So be careful judging when you see somebody that has success, because you don't know what they did to get there.
Yep. You don't know their story. You don't know their story. Man. So I'm excited to have Mr. Larry Smith on our podcast, okay? Because he's a dear friend of ours.
Yeah, he's great.
A mentor. We met him in Legal Shield. Just very humble, very humble. And his story, we're blown away. I mean, we started reading the book last night, and I think I was reading to Miguel. That was very cool. I like that. That was very intimate to read to you, baby doll. But it is, because
it was cool.
We were going to purchase 2 books. And then last night I was sitting there while he was working from home, and but
we're just reading it together.
Yeah, we were reading it together, and hearing his story and what he went through. And I'm not going to even get into that because we're going to share it. We're going to leave that.
Are you doing like a teaser a month and a half out?
Yes. But man, reading this book, like, we're looking at each other and we're like, oh my God, like, are you serious? Yes. Like, he's went through this, and it was just absolutely mind-blowing to hear his story. So you see him where he's at today and just don't know what he's gone through.
Yeah.
In order to get to where he is today. And that's what I love about this podcast, is having guests on and hearing their story, their struggle, their challenges, and seeing where they're at today. Like, that's what I love about this platform, is being able to do that. Yeah.
So back to the goals. So what are, for you guys that are listening out there, like, how are your goals going? Yeah. The great thing is that the January 1st is just a day. If you fell off, you can get back on it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Whenever you're listening to this.
Yeah.
You can get back on it now.
Is there any of the goals that you listed that you fell off on?
No, not completely. So the goals that I had to put out a social media post every day. And I've done that on every social media that I have. I made and that's the thing is when you have goals, you can modify them if you want.
Right.
And so
adjust them.
What I decided is that Sundays, we're recording this on Saturday. Usually we record on Saturdays and then we put it out on Sunday. So Sundays, I've decided I'm taking that as my day off. So as far as the podcast goes, I mean, there is really no day off.
There's always something to do.
There really is no day
yeah.
off. And that goes back to not knowing exactly what people are doing to get to where they're at.
Yeah.
But Sundays, by Sunday, everything is scheduled to come out.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go and upload. I don't have to go put a post, and everything's already scheduled to come out. So Sunday I can kind of take off. The only thing that doesn't have something scheduled to come out is Instagram.
Yeah.
So Sundays there is no Instagram post. But every other day there's a post on everything, on Twitter, on Facebook, on our podcast page, on our group, on my personal page, on Instagram, on everything. And you can follow us at Opposite Pod. So that was one goal. The other goal was to put out at least 3 videos a week. And I've been doing that.
So you've been good. You've been staying on track of your.
Yep.
Okay. So I've been doing pretty good for the most part.
No, you haven't.
What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding. No, you've been kicking butt.
But I fell back on going to the gym. Yeah. You know, like I put on, 10 pounds. And what's so crazy is that like when I gain it, I feel like I gain it in my cheeks.
I saw it today.
What, motherfucker? Oh, my butt cheeks. I'm like, but I gain it evenly, like my boobs will get 2 pounds, my butt will gain 2 pounds, my legs, you know what I'm saying? Like it's evenly, but I am such at a good place, babe. Like I'm such before I would be beating myself up, like totally. Cause I finally got on the scale, like had the nerve to get on that scale because I usually don't do that. Like I know when I'm off because I'll put on the I'll put my clothes on and I can feel it. And I see it in my face. Like when I do these, like the podcast, I can see it. And I'm like, okay, you can't even hide it from the guest. You can't be like, oh yeah, no, I'm on track. Cause the guests can see when you start gaining weight. They're like, man, that girl's looking a little fluffy.
We're eating good over here. Like saying? We said.
No, we've been eating chicken soup lately. What do you mean? And I've been helping you lose weight.
Yeah, with that coffee.
Crap. It cleans your system.
Anyway.
But, that's what I've gotten off track. And I enjoy it. Like once I'm there, like I'm in it. But it's just adjusting my schedule to just make it happen. Like just doing it.
Yeah. So what's the plan? Are you going to do it? You're going to get back in it?
Yes. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a shot of that coffee. Because my energy's been
just don't do any squats.
My energy's been very low lately.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've noticed that like my energy's just been very low. And for me, what I've noticed is that when life is really just good, like I'm happy with who I am inside. Like I'm just happy with me. I'm happy with us.
Yeah.
And when I'm happy where I'm at, it's like, okay, well, gaining 10 pounds, whatever. It's not that bad because I know that once I make the decision, I can get back on it. Yeah, but it's like a damn roller coaster and it's so frustrating because of all the hard work. Like I look at that picture on my phone where I'm like cut, like I'm looking really good,
Show it to the camera.
And it's just, it's aggravating because I worked so hard to get there. But during that time when I was looking like that, Trust Inc. wasn't even here. Like it didn't exist. It's when we first moved into this home and I took the summer off.
You were so focused.
Yeah. Like I was jump roping in the garage.
If you didn't get to the gym in the morning, I would come home from work and you would leave and go to the gym.
Yeah, but if that's what I did,
we were both hitting it.
Yeah, and I wasn't working, like trusting, then I couldn't keep that up. But that's just not realistic for me. It's just not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I would drive myself bananas because it did take a lot to get there. I was working out like twice a day.
Yeah, you were.
And I was strictly keto, like strictly keto.
Yep.
So I just got to figure out a balance. But to get back there, can I do it with the lifestyle that we have now?
We all do.
I don't know. I don't know if I can get back there.
Everybody listening is probably thinking the same thing.
You know, like I'm thinking right now, to be honest, I want a diet pill. Like, give me a damn diet pill that's going to... That
shit doesn't work.
Dude, it does. It does. You know why? Because it gives me energy. I'm cracked. Like, it gives me energy.
Really?
Hell yeah.
No.
And like right now, yeah, it gives me energy and it suppresses my appetite. My appetite, I don't have a problem with that. It's the energy, having energy to get up and go. What?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know. I've never been down with any of that shit.
It works for me because, again, with the energy. It gives me the energy because I'm, fueled up. I need to go do something. I got to go somewhere, but it's short term. I mean, you can't pop a pill in and expect it to work. No, you have to, your mindset.
Don't do it, people. I'm going to tell you, don't do it, people.
No, but
we have a responsibility here.
Yes. But what I'm telling you I just didn't take a diet pill. The diet pill gave me the energy to go to the gym.
Fuck that.
And then after that, well, I haven't taken them for a long time.
I felt like this always. Yeah. I always have.
No, because he was upset. When was it? Like 3 years ago.
We got into an argument about that.
Yeah, like 3 years ago. I was taking a diet pill and B12, I think it was.
B12 shots.
And he was not down for it at all. But the one thing that I know is that I've been off for a long time and I started doing the keto and that gave me...
But you were kicking ass without that shit.
I was.
You don't need that shit.
I know, but like I said, with our lifestyle that we have right now, can I go back and sustain where I was with everything that we have going on?
You're fucking up right now. I'm telling you. Because this is public and you're talking to everybody out there. I'm just telling you, you're fucking up right now.
I'm just being real, though. I'm being real. But no, I'm not saying there's a shortcut.
So if our daughter said she wants to lose some weight and she's going to take some diet pills, you're cool with that?
No.
There you go. So don't do it. I'm just saying.
I know.
There's ways. You know what? There are no fucking shortcuts.
It doesn't work. I know.
There are no shortcuts. We just got done talking about consistency.
I know.
There are no shortcuts. If you stay consistent, you did all that shit without the diet pills.
I know.
You don't need that shit.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I need...
You're putting out the wrong
energy.
Message. I'm just saying.
I know there's no shortcuts.
Okay.
I did it without... But I was just telling you what I was thinking the other day, and now you're freaking flipping a lid. This is real, authentic shit, and I was telling you what I was thinking the other day. Like, I'm going to go out of high health, and,
Yeah.
But that's why I said, a shot of coffee, that's natural.
And it'll clean you out.
God, you get so uptight. No.
That is one thing. Like, I'm just saying, we got a responsibility.
There are no shortcuts.
Yes.
There's not. It's hard work. I mean, and I've done it before. I've taken the diet pills before.
We're gonna all right, so the rest of this podcast is going to be about taking diet pills. Well, listen,
what I'm saying is I've done it before, and it does not keep the weight off. It's eating better, going to the gym. There's no shortcuts around it. But I was just telling you what I was thinking the other day. Holy crapiola.
Yeah.
No, it's all about having the right mindset, because no matter what, even though I took those diet pills, I've never been able to sustain and keep the weight off. I mean, even now, I've only gained 10 pounds. That's not a lot. It's just because I'm short.
You can lose that in 2 weeks.
And it reflects because I'm short. You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
Yeah, I know, baby. And that's what makes it so hard. Anyways, are you okay now? Shoot, freaking yelling at me on the podcast, getting all crazy. No, you're right. There's no shortcuts. It's all about having the mindset, the discipline, and being consistent. I mean, that in life equals freedom. It does. It's just hard to
Damn, Jocko. Yeah.
It's hard to do it.
Just say it. Discipline equals freedom.
It does. Discipline equals freedom, but it's hard. It's not as easy. It's easier, said than done.
I'm so proud of you.
Shut up.
Quoting Navy SEALs. I'm finally rubbing off.
It says it in the Bible. Oh my. So check this out. Okay. So this morning, we're hilarious together. If you guys, we should become a reality show.
They know.
We should become a reality show. So, I'm listening to my Oprah Winfrey and I'm in the bathroom getting ready, getting my mindset for this podcast.
Oh, it's so
and, this jerk comes into the bathroom and I knew it already. Like, I knew you were going to start making fun of what they were talking about. And he's like, why does everything have to be so spiritual?
So magical.
No, magical. Why does everything have to be so magical? And I'm just like, I kicked him out of the bathroom with his toothbrush. I should have locked you out because you came back in, No,
but I was, it reminded me.
He drives me bananas.
Well, so what did they, I don't know. Oprah's talking to this lady and they say something,
so
and they
she's having a very hard time. The lady that she's Gwen, I can't remember her last name, but she's going through a situation. She ended up investing her money with this scam artist, and they lost
Bernie Madoff,
all their money. So she's having to pick up the phone and tell her husband. And so she's sharing this information with a friend, and her friend pretty much came back and said, listen, everything that matters, you still have. Like, meaning she still has her health.
Yeah. No, she said now's not a time to be spiritual.
Right. Well,
or something like that.
So but the other woman is trying to show her that there's still positive, the love and with her husband and her health and everything else. And the woman is like, listen, right now is not the time to be spiritual. And it's funny.
Yeah, no, but I guess.
I mean, it's funny because here we are. This woman is very spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's very...
Yeah, but her whole world's
supposedly
upside
connected,
down.
But her world's all upside down, and somebody else is trying to give her advice of, how to look at the bright side. And she's like, listen, lady, right now is not the time to be spiritual. So and Oprah Winfrey starts cracking up laughing.
Both start cracking. I'm talking about they start busting out laughing. And I'm just looking at Sonja like, this shit's not.
It's
funny,
not really funny. Because those are the times. Like, think about it. It's easy to be all happy and spiritual when you're in a good place. But when shit is raining, that's the time where you need to connect and dig deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But besides the point, like, it automatically made me think of a Bill Burr bit. It's freaking hilarious. It's called just YouTube Bill Burr hardest job in the world, and it's about mothers. And it just it instantly reminded me of that because in the beginning of the joke he talks about how his wife is sitting there listening to Oprah Winfrey, and he likes to sit there and watch his wife listen to Oprah Winfrey because I'm an asshole. That's what he said. He's like, and she says something fucking crazy, and automatically he's like, I go, whoom, and I look at my wife, like, what the fuck? And that's pretty much exactly. I'm like, what are they fucking laughing at? It's not funny.
Yeah, so he's looking at me. He's watching me.
Anyway,
and my reaction to what I just listened to. Anyways.
So.
Yep.
But, you know what? A few podcasts ago, we had Daquan Washington on the podcast, and we were talking about when to have kids. And he said that somebody had mentioned to him, like, you want to have kids early. You want to have kids early so that way when you're older, you don't have kids. There we go. Yeah.
Dude, I'm comfortable. Leave me alone. I do.
Yeah. And you don't want to have kids like later on in life, because then you're going to be freaking 60 and your kids are still going to be living in your house and growing up and shit,
Okay.
And we kind of thought about it and we're like, yeah, that makes sense or whatever. But the thing is that when you think about the other thing at the same time, like, let's say you're in your early 20s, it seems like nowadays kids are waiting to have kids too. Like, they're not having kids as young as they used to. Now they're waiting longer. But if you don't have kids, that's the time to, go after the dreams that you have, because once you have kids, your responsibilities change.
Your world changes.
Your world
changes.
You have people that are depending on you.
Like, it's not about you anymore. It's not about you anymore.
So like let's say this podcast, this is something that we can do on the side. It doesn't cost a lot of money. But like, let's say I want it to be like my brother George. He wants to be an actor.
Right.
And I mean, he is an actor. and he's in New York, and he's going out on auditions, and he's working, he's going to acting school, he's doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
The thing is that you can struggle by yourself and just power through until you have success. But once you start having once you have kids, things change. Now there's people that are counting on you. And you hear it so many times where there's a parent that wanted to do something, but like they had a dream inside them that they had to stifle because they had to do what they had to do to take care of their family. So if you're younger and you listen to this podcast and you don't have any kids, now's the time.
Yeah.
Get after it. Get busy. Go after whatever it is that you want, because it's easy to struggle by yourself.
But it's so...
You may not notice it. You may not see it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking back, and I don't know, man. I don't know whether I was different or not, but I think I did very well, my 20s, buying my house when I was 23. Like, I waited until my Romeo came into my life to have kids. Like, I was 31. I was 30 when we got together. I was 31 when we had Adriana. And I partied a lot, did a lot of craziness. I think I did more traveling though once we got married.
Did you have a dream that you were that you had inside that you were chasing?
No, I just knew I needed to make money. Like, I knew that I had to take care of myself. It wasn't about, I didn't have a dream. I didn't even know. I didn't even think I was going to work for a law firm for the rest of my life. Like, I knew, I didn't know. Like, to dream and think, I don't know. That didn't come into place until Legal Shield, I think. Because I forgot how to dream.
Yeah.
I was so focused on I was focused on not being broke.
Yeah.
That when I got into my career, it was all about what are they paying me? What am I going to make?
Yeah.
And is this going to sustain, my bills? Is it going to, but anyways, I don't know. I think I did pretty well with that. But I think that now is when I'm
dreaming again.
It took me a long time to do that. But I'm looking at the picture of our two little ones there, and they're so sweet. You see them?
They're cute.
So they're so little, so sweet, so innocent. And I tell you that, like, I don't know, like, life isn't about us today, though. You know what I'm saying? It's about them.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It's about helping them accomplish their dreams.
It's about us together, all of us together.
Yeah.
It's not us individually.
Yeah.
It's all of us together. With you guys too. For me, anyway. I don't know about you. For me, it is.
It's us, baby.
Yeah. But so there was something that I mentioned a few podcasts ago about what an agnostic learned at church. There's a couple things that we've been to church a few times. And for those of you that are listening to the podcast, I'm not a spiritual person at all. I don't believe in religion. It's just not something that I believe. I believe that something may have created the world, the universe, whatever. I mean, because it's hard to believe that it came from nothing or whatever. Like something, I don't know. It's just so hard to explain. I just don't think that anybody really knows what it is. And if you do believe, that's great. That's your belief. But this is what I believe. But there are a lot of good lessons that can be learned. And something that when we went to church, they were talking about how a lot of people, they talk about things that they support. I think he was talking about Planned Parenthood. How he was talking about how, like people that were opposed to Planned Parenthood or for Planned Parenthood. And he was like, well, how much do you contribute to it? He's like, you're obviously very passionate about the subject. How much do you contribute? Like, how much do you actually support it?
Yeah.
And they're like, 0. And I mean, and whether you're for or against Planned Parenthood, whatever, that's your deal. But so many times people have such a strong opinion about something, and that's all they have. It's a strong opinion. But that doesn't mean shit, really. Like, if you support something, actually support it. Do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's a pretty good point. And then a lot of times when you go to church, or like I've heard so many times before that if it wasn't for God, like, how do you know right from wrong? Where does that come from? How do you know to be a good person? Or like, why don't you just do whatever the hell you, and it's like, you know what? Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, I do whatever the hell I want.
Mm-hmm.
Not because of a higher power, because I do it because of being a decent person, trying to be a decent person, trying to be a good human being. And I'm not perfect. Nobody is. But I was kind of thinking to myself, like, as somebody who doesn't believe in this stuff, why not try to be an example of how you can be a good person without any of that, without any pretenses, without, oh, God's watching. Like, I don't do that shit because God's watching me. I don't do the right thing because I know that somebody in the clouds is watching me. I do it the right thing because I know that it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, but I'm spiritual, and I'm, I believe in God. I believe in a higher energy, and I have so many stories that I can share. And I feel that I'm deeply connected. I feel that way. And I don't wake up every morning thinking, well, I got to be good today, because if not, I'm going to hell. That's not what I think.
Yeah, but a lot of people feel that you have no direction without God. Or that, the world would be, like, people can't be decent people without God. And it's like, well, you know what? I just kind of thought to myself, well, you know what? I'll show you. I'll be that example.
You'll show who?
I'll show everybody. I'll show everybody that says that you need God to be a decent person. That, because it's one of those things that, religious people that are pieces of shit. Straight up.
Yeah.
They're not good fucking people. What was that? Oh man, it was so creepy. You know what I'm talking? You know what I'm thinking?
What?
That one YouTube video of that dude getting in that Cadillac, where he was talking about flying in planes with these heathens and shit. Like, he needed that private jet to fly from one place to another so that he could preach, because he can't be on a commercial airline with all these heathens and shit.
Yes,
I was like,
yes.
oh, that was so fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
So disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I don't need that.
Yeah. And they talk about that in our church. Like,
they do.
You claim to be, Christian, and
yeah,
do the right thing, but are you really, a Christian? Are you focused on doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Speaking
of
that's
church,
just, knowing the heart. And he talks about that. Like,
And for me also, it's to be an example to our kids. It's like, look, Dad believes whatever, like, little by little, we're talking to them, but Dad believes whatever he believes, but he's still a good dude,
Yeah.
At least that's what I want them to know.
Yeah. And they see that you go to church, like we go to church as a family. And lately we've been, taking some of the girls from the group home that I was working with us. And,
yeah,
and they see the things that we do, and they see that you support me.
More than anything, I want to be with the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they see that, and it's a good example for them to see that, regardless of what you believe in, you're still there to support us and be with us.
Yeah.
So
if you don't believe anything out there, if it's not something that you believe, you can be an example of somebody who doesn't believe in traditional religions or whatever, and still be a good person, because that is something that you hear. And I know you've heard it before. It's like, oh, you have to have, some guidance, from a higher power and this and that. It's like, no, you don't. You could be a good person. Just be a good person. That's it.
Yeah.
Try to anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and we were thinking about, well, not thinking, we're gonna go to a Buddhist temple to go check it out. Same thing. Just to go look at something different and learn some new things. And but obviously we've been under the weather lately, as you can hear, so we haven't had the chance to do that. But I'm looking forward to it. And we had you had told me to listen to that one podcast.
Yeah.
That it's called Secular Buddhist.
Yes.
Or Secular Buddhism podcast. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it all boils down to this. Like, I don't care what your belief is. It all boils down to what you just said. Just being a good person, doing the right thing.
Not because somebody's watching you.
But do it because it's in your heart. Like, it's part of who you are. And I think that's what makes us very genuine. You know, like, we don't try to pretend to be someone that we're not.
Yeah. Like, to me, it seems like if you give a donation, it's almost like if you go to church and you feel like in the Bible, it says that you have to give 10%.
Mm-hmm.
And you give your 10% because the Bible says you have to give 10%.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
You gave your 10%, but whatever. Who gives a shit? I mean, I guess you're doing good. But if you actually give it because you feel inside that it's doing something good,
right,
then good.
Yes.
And even if you don't believe in the Bible, if you give 10% to something because you feel it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, like an organization. Or, yeah.
Like, it's genuine.
Yeah. I think we are all here to help other people. We are here to serve. We are here to provide value.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, like he was talking about happiness.
Yeah.
You know, and how so many people feel empty inside and how they're searching for their happiness on the outside.
Yeah.
And instead of looking from within, like everything that you want, you can find within. But most people don't understand that. Like, they don't understand, how do they get there?
Yeah.
How do they get there? And it takes a whole lot of work. It takes a whole lot of work to find that.
Yep.
Because you can pretend like you're happy on the outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can pretend that everything's great. But at night, when you're laying there and you're feeling empty and hopeless and stressed out and full of anxiety, it's like,
get a side hustle. You won't have any trouble going to fucking sleep. I'm telling you, get a fucking side hustle.
Oh my God.
There will be no thoughts going into your head at the end of the night. Your fucking brain will power down and you will crash.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, you know, when they talk about The Secret or, you know, what you think, I mean, it's real. Like, it's real because thoughts are real.
Yeah.
You know, so change the way you think. And once you change the way you think, you'll start doing the right thing. You'll, you know, and turn it into activity. And I don't know. It's just a whole lot of work. You know, most people don't know what happiness means. They don't even know what that looks like because they never give themselves enough time to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I want to be happy. Okay, well, what does that look like for you? What does that look like for you?
Yeah.
You know?
Instead of happiness, like, do things that are satisfying. Instead of trying to be happy all the time.
Well, you're not all happy all the time. I mean, there's times where I'm upset or stressed out or angry. It's like being okay with who you are, where you're at, and fighting through it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be happy all the time.
Yeah.
You know, but what is happiness to you? What does that mean to you? You know?
I'm happy now. I'm sick.
What are you chasing?
I'm sick and I'm happy.
You know? Like, if everything were to stop today, you know? At the end, all that matters is us. Us as a family being together.
I know I'm a jerk.
You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Like, if we didn't have this business and we didn't have the podcast and we lived in this 1-bedroom apartment
This is the thing, is that if our mindset was still the same, we're still good. We're still happy.
Right.
If we lost everything, as long as the mindset stays the same. And that's why a lot of times these books, these personal development books, like people want steps. They want steps. Okay, do this, do this, do this, do this, and then you become successful. It's not do this, do that. No. It's a fucking mindset. You have to change your way of thinking, and then you become successful. Or and then you put in the work, and then you become successful.
But what is success? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's where people are running in circles because they don't know what happiness means to them. They don't know what success means. Does success mean being a millionaire, having all this money?
It's not material.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not a material thing.
No, everything that you're looking for, you can find within, but you have to know how to get there. And most people aren't willing to do the work. They're not willing to slow down in order to find what that means to them.
Yep.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
You know?
It's good, babe.
Love you, babe.
Love you too. So we got some important stuff that's gonna be happening in the future. We got some exciting stuff. I'm excited. I'm sick and excited. I'm so sick, so excited. I've got some new things. You guys will see it next week, but we got some new things coming for the podcast. We got some events that we're planning. We got a bunch of stuff that we're doing. I mean, it's just something that it's not stopping. It's going to keep going. We're going to keep working, and it is inevitable.
Yeah.
It is inevitable. Like I was telling you yesterday, if you keep fucking grinding, if you keep hustling, you stay consistent like we were talking about before, it's undeniable. It is.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah. It's work.
It is. Speaking of work, now that we're at the end of our podcast, I got more work to do because I got to edit and chop it up and do what I got to do. So thank you guys for being with us. We appreciate you guys listening. Again, if you guys want to call into the podcast, you can call in at 480-912-5128. You can leave us a voicemail. Let us know how we're doing. Send us some questions. Send us some love. We appreciate it. Make sure you go to our website, oppositesattractpod.com. You can subscribe. Check out the YouTube channel. You can look us up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything at Opposite Pod. Thank you guys for listening. You got anything before we get out of here?
I sure don't. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.